Hello everyone, welcome to another ACO Player of the Month. This is Dusty Circuit here.
Hey, welcome guys. So we are
Hello.
here. We are here for February's Player of the Month, the second month of the year. We made it through the first month, so it's good news. Today I've got quite a few things to go over, as well as we want to welcome back a very special Alyssa who just hopped in the call. So Alyssa, welcome back. Some of you guys might remember Alyssa as our admin last year. And Alyssa's back. So actually, do we just want to start with that, Alyssa? Is Alyssa able to talk?
The sound of silence.
The sound of silence.
She had to reboot her computer, so there you are. Hi, we can hear you now. You there?
Yes. Sorry
Hi.
about that.
Oh, you're fine.
Had a couple of technical issues that happened right before meant to join the call. So I am very happy to be back and working with Blue to support the server. And for those of you who haven't met me, my in-game name is Errant Pixie, and my name in real life is Alyssa. So feel free to refer to me as either Alyssa or Errant Pixie. And I'm looking forward to meeting everybody in Discord and in-game that I haven't already met.
Yay. And for those of you that know, Alyssa has a background in tech. But was saying that, remember that that's her in real life job. And so when on server and here hanging out with us, she's just Alyssa, our admin, and will help us in any ways that she can. But just like before, we're asking that if you guys have tech questions, things like that, please just put them in the tech channel. And Alyssa can help you out there, work with you there. But we always like to give the players a chance to answer the questions too, because we have quite a few very knowledgeable players here that go with that.
Yeah, and I do plan to be active in the Tech Talk channel. So if I do see any questions, I will try to answer them. But like Blue said, it's nice to give other players a chance to answer those questions as well.
And yeah, so, and as far as Alyssa's role goes, as far as an admin, it'll be similar to how she was last time, which is, I'll still handle more of the events and the player relations stuff. And Alyssa is the one that keeps the server running. So by far, she has the more important job. We couldn't do any of the stuff we need to do without that. So for those of you that are aware, things that have gone a little haywire here in the past, Alyssa's always been there to help and get us back in line. So really excited to have you back on. So thank you, Alyssa, for agreeing to be part of the team again. All right, guys. So you ready for the Player of the Month? We have, like I said, a few things to go over. Originally, we were going to bring Alyssa back today, but then we kind of needed some help with some things, so we decided to have her be made an admin a little sooner. So that was kind of one of the surprises. We do have a few other things to go over, though. But all right, let's get right into it. So this month's Player of the Month, we actually had like a three-way-ish tie for quite a bit, or two-way tie, and then a couple players that were just one under, and then we had a couple of votes come in that kind of pulled one player ahead. But I can tell you, we had more votes this round than we've ever had, and it's so great to see you guys not just saying, oh, this person, but actually explaining why. There's so many good little stories that go with people's votes. And for those of you that are new to ACO, the way this works is the admins don't necessarily pick who the Player of the Month is. We typically don't even vote. We like to see what you players suggest. And this month, the winner for our February 2021 Player of the Month is Nin. So Nin, where are you? Come on up. This right here. It's so quiet. You guys can unmute to congratulate, by the way.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Everyone speak.
Congratulations.
It's like really, really quiet. There you go.
Buddy,
So then if you want to
potatoes.
stand really quickly there, I'm going to take your picture really fast. Go ahead and there you go.
Buddy.
Thank you. Oh, I like that. We normally don't have the sit.
It's concerningly
There
quiet.
you
I'm
go.
gonna be honest.
All right, so then I'll go ahead and get the rest of the sign change and all that here in just a few minutes. So thank you. So congrats to Nin. The notes with Nin, and I can share those with him privately later, but the notes were things about being on multiple teams. As you guys know, Nin's on the farm team as well as the birthday team, as well as helps out with events. There's just a lot that Nin does. A lot of it is kind of quietly done. So I was quite surprised to see so many votes, because a lot of the things that it's kind of like in a way how Riley is, where she just doesn't really talk about the good things that she does. So congratulations, Nin. That was very exciting. Nin as our player of the month. All right, so there's one other thing before we get into all the announcements and things I would like to talk to you about. I do have one other thing I would like to do. Can you guys think of something we haven't done in quite a while?
Would
Concerts?
that be called a river fight?
Maybe you guys all turn around and face the other way. Look at Buddy.
Would it be called the bow that we haven't seen in ages?
Yeah, we have not given away an Obsidian Bow in a long time. For those of you that don't know, the Obsidian Bow is similar to what the Autism Father bow is on. I'm sorry, Autism Father. The Autism Father sword is on Otcraft. So here
There
though,
should be a
and
blue bow.
Dan, can we mute,
Sorry.
please? Thank you. So there shouldn't be a blue bow, because you know why? This isn't a blue server. This is Obsidian. We're Outcraft Obsidian, and the server itself looks for players that really stand up or stand out. They go above and beyond. They do put the needs of the server over their own need. And we do have a player that has really stood out lately when it comes to that. This particular player works nonstop for the server. You guys are just not as aware of it. This player is on one of our teams, and they go above and beyond, just making sure that the team runs smoothly. This team is a very hard team. We handle a lot of problems when it comes to the server, when it comes to farms, when it comes to having to talk to players, when it comes to even members of our own team. And we do have a player that has stood through time and has just really assisted everyone. I see that player walking around. And they have 100% put the server above themselves, as far as giving hours and time and wanting to take breaks and not even being able to take the breaks due to the need of the server. And so Just Whiskers, please guys, let's give a huge round of applause to Just
JW.
Whiskers.
Congrats.
Because yeah,
Congratulations.
Just Whiskers are gonna come
Congrats.
here. I have your Obsidian Bow. Congratulations.
Oh, you playing?
Oops.
Oh, you playing Minecraft?
1 second.
I like it.
Ah, no. 1 minute. I'm just gonna stay.
Who did that? Make sure. Okay, so
Dan.
yeah, please guys, let's not do that.
It was an accident.
So Just Whiskers, congratulations. This is quite an honor here on where are we gonna put you at? Would you like to go next to Ragnar or Riley? You get a choice. Actually, I take that back. You're gonna go up. We're going upwards now, I guess. There you go. We're gonna put you right there. So.
Onwards and upwards, that's what they
in the
say.
middle, Blue. What are you doing?
What?
Put it right there.
Well, I like him right there.
You've censored.
I'll tell. Okay, how about right there? How's that?
Yeah, sounds better.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
much better.
okay. So we'll get the sign done. We'll get your name on it, and I'll get a picture of you there, Just Whiskers. But congratulations, and a huge thanks, because again, you do a lot for the server. Again, one of those that a lot of players are not quite aware of how much time you do put into making sure that their submissions pass, making sure that everything is mucked up correctly, making sure that everyone works like a team. And you have been the glue to that team for quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. The server appreciates it. So thank you. All right. Let's see. What else we got today, guys? All right, I'm gonna go.
What do we?
I'm going to go over a few things as far as stuff that I would just like to go over. So sorry, guys, we got to kind of listen for a few minutes. There's some important things that we have talked about in previous Player of the Months, but just haven't, we get newer players or people couldn't be there, things like that. And so I want to go over some things. Before I say that, I want to tell you we have 2 new channels that will be coming. One of the channels is going to be a true welcome channel. It's going to have our rules as well as really explaining what the don't be that guy rules are. It's going to have everything broken down even to like mod recs. So let's say there is a new player on the server and you're giving a tour and you're just not really sure what to tell them because maybe you've forgotten, or maybe you are a new player and you did get the tour but you already can't remember. It's going to tell you things like where to stand when doing the mod rec. If you want your portal in a specific spot, what you need to do to have that. It's going to go over pretty much all of ACO. If for some of you that have had my tours, they take a long time, sometimes an hour to even 2 hours. And obviously those kind of tours can't be done. You have to do 2 hours. Sometimes those tours can't be done all the time. So it's really good to have a channel that you guys can go in, and it'll actually be a category. So it'll be broken down by Discord, even the rules in the Discord, because as you guys know, some channels can have certain talk in it and some can't. And so we need to make sure that it's just really clear for everyone. And then it's just a great reference. Is it something you guys have to read all the time? Absolutely not. But if you have a question and you're like, wait, I can't remember, are we allowed to build next to someone? Are we not? You can just really quickly go reference that channel and it'll have all that in there. So hopefully we'll have that done this week. It'll be up. Another channel that will be in this category, but will be separate, is a calendar. You guys have been wanting a calendar that is not on the website itself. So we will go ahead and get that in there as well. I will go ahead and tell you when we're done talking about a few other things, I will give you some dates because we do have some things coming up, including the ACO Olympics. We have the Survival Games are happening again. We have our Valentine's event. We have a few things coming up. So don't worry, all that stuff will get put in the channel. And then at the end of the meeting, I'll give you the dates on those. But all right, so real quickly, let's just go through a few things that we need to talk about. It's really important that you guys realize we are not Otcraft. We are an Otcraft server. Okay, so I think of Otcraft as like the brand, and we are, there's Otcraft and then there's ACO. We're, as you guys know, as members, we're different. We have different rules. It's just completely different. One of those things is staff. So we have staff on AC. And then on ACO, we don't have staff. It's kind of the charm to it. A lot of players like that there's no competitiveness with, having to get a rank or not having a rank. And one of the things on Otcraft is we have helpers and senior helpers and admins. So what has been happening, and we've addressed this a few times, but I really want to address it again, is when those admins or those senior helpers or helpers are playing on ACO, they're here to play. They're here to have a good time. They're here to just play. But what's been happening is we're getting players that are bringing AC things over to ACO, rather that be a conversation, or let's say, you have a problem with something or a build or something that you're doing there, and you're even having some players here having helpers even come over here and be like, hey, talking to helpers here saying, can you please come back over to AC and help me fix this? We cannot have that. It's causing some of our players here a lot of stress, because we want to make sure that this is when they leave AC and they leave, when they head over to ACO, they're off duty, literally off duty. This is their chance to not have to feel like they have to, stop arguments or worry that a player is doing this or that. So we need to really keep those roles defined from AC versus ACO. The only player that has a role on both is myself. So aside from me, and I even tell you guys, if you come to me with AC questions or something, what do I always tell you? I say, go over there and mod wreck it. Because if I'm over here, I'm not over there right then. So please, buddy, stop. So please, we definitely need to make sure that that's happening. Like I said, I've had probably 4 or 5 different players approach me in the last month saying that they really need it known that please just keep AC stuff on AC, ACO, and ACO. And that goes for the same there too. So for instance, if you're on AC, don't start talking about ACO in the chat because players are going to be very confused. Is it okay if you say something like, oh, hey, I'm going over to ACO now, or something about, oh, we had this event or whatever. Yeah, something like that's fine. That's actually how we do tend to get players at points, because players will say, what's ACO? But, for instance, like this war stuff, things like that, try to not talk a lot about it over there because it really confuses the players. Yeah, so anyway, and that includes Patreon as well. Yeah, BB saying Patreon. We've got to be a little careful. Now, Patreon is for AC and ACO. It's not just for one server because members from both support it, but we do need to be a little bit more careful about, dominating those chats, because it does make some of those Outcrafters probably feel like they just can't relate. They can't laugh with us because they're not there. And I have heard that from them. So we just need to be, like I said, it goes both ways. We need to be a little bit more careful with having our ACO stuff flood AC and having staff questions and staff stuff come over to ACO. Does anybody have questions on that? If you do, please go ahead and unmute and ask your question. Nope. Okay, I think we've gone over this before. Like I said, it's nothing new. It's just it's starting to happen again, and we need to not do that, because this is it's kind of like when you clock out of work and you're off duty, but then the work follows you home. We just don't want to do that. So, all right, let's see here. I want to talk about, well, let me do this one first. All right, so the trading hall. We've had in total 6 we have had 6 villagers die in the last 2 weeks. 5 of them at one point and 1 by a separate one. And the problem is when they get, I can roll those areas back, but when I do, the trades don't stay how they were. And some of these villagers were very, very, very important. And so because of that, you might have seen there's a sign up now that says, when you enter the area, no weapons. Don't have them in your hotbar at all. Just, I'm not saying you have to go put them away, but no weapons out at all. You should not have to have a weapon out when you're in the village trading hall. We have iron golems in there, we have things to protect in there. So just don't. It's not worth it, because like I said, once these die, and I bring it back, I had hit it in my hand. That's why I don't have it in your hand. That's kind of just no weapons in there. Just don't do it. If you have to have your weapon in your inventory, make sure it's far away. So that way, is it okay to not have it in your hotbar, but pull it out? You don't need it. I'm not quite sure why you would need to have your sword in your hand when you're in the village trading hall. Even in an offhand, just don't. Because now we've had 6 villagers die in the span of 2 weeks, and it's taking away from the server. You all are losing out on that by losing those really good trades. So I'm doing other stuff at the time that requires my sword. In our village trading hall, you are? I don't know why you would. Oh no, I'm talking in the trading hall. I'm talking when you're in the, you know what I'm talking about, right? The villager trading hall. This is a huge way of how ACO gets emeralds, and so now that we've lost 6, it does affect. It's going to affect each of you guys. So please just don't. We get accidents happen, and that's why we're trying to prevent these accidents by saying just don't have your weapons out there. It's just not important. If you hit the iron villagers, run out, just leave. If you try to fight them, somebody's going to get killed, and it's going to affect, again, the entire server. If you think you can't do it, then please don't use the area. That's going to be the other area. So, and the farm's portal room. How does one get to the trading? Yeah, and actually, we're going to be doing an upgrade to those, just so you know. And when we do that, we're going to actually make it its own in the pyramid. It'll have its own. But for right now, that's where it's at. Yep, just move it, just like I said, you can see in your inventory. I'm not saying it can't be in your inventory, just don't have it in your hands. So that's the big thing.
Blue.
Yes.
Idea. Put a sign in the trading hall that just says make sure your weapons are put away, so that won't be an issue.
There already is.
I've never seen the trading hall, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, there is a sign in it right now, but there's a sign in it right now, but at the same time, like I said, just don't forget. Don't think, oh, I'm fine with my sword in my hand because we've lost 6 villagers in 2 weeks. Just don't, because you're hurting the community. This is impacting the community, so please just be very careful.
Just like don't hit the pigmen, don't hit the villagers.
Exactly. Just don't. There's no, and you gotta kill one, you gotta hit it. Like, it's not like a love tap. You're actually killing it. So please don't. All right. So, don't be that guy. Yeah, exactly. I want to go over really quickly streaming. I've noticed there's been a lot of streaming lately. And I want to make sure everyone is very, very clear on the rules of streaming. This will also go into the little rules category, so you guys can reference this one. But because we've had newer players, again, I just want to go over, you can stream games and games only. You cannot stream your desktop, okay? So when you go into stream, it's going to give you an option of streaming your desktop or streaming games. You need to stream the particular game that you have up and ready to go. There's no streaming of Discord, no streaming of Googling, no streaming of anything like that. It has to be a game only. So when I hover over it and it says you're streaming desktop, we have a problem, okay? I want to hover over it and see that you're streaming Minecraft or Forza or whatever, whatever game it is that you're streaming. It has to be a game, and it has to be a game that's rated no higher than T for teen. So anything above that cannot be streamed. Does anyone have questions about this? Because Hypixel, this is another really, thank you for saying that. Hypixel can only be streamed if chat is turned off. Chat has to be turned off. So if you cannot turn chat off, then you cannot stream. This was, and the reason, in fact, in the past, Hypixel was never even allowed to be streamed. We only allowed it for the Bed Wars competition, and the 3 players that were allowed to stream had very specific instructions that chat had to be turned off. Now I'm seeing a lot of people streaming it and chat is turned on. So if you're going to stream Hypixel, you cannot have chat. So let's see here. Mod put in there to turn chat off, do toggle chat. Okay. So if you guys don't know how to do it, do that. If you are streaming something that you're not allowed to stream, you'll get a warning. After that warning, you will lose streaming permissions. So please, guys, it's pretty important. We're trying to let you guys have fun and do these things, but chat, for obvious reasons, has to be removed. Yep, I would put that in the Bed Wars channel. We can do that and we can pin it. So let's see here. We've been streaming for those who cannot play. Personally can't stream. Yeah, and that's why streaming is good. And it's good. You guys can stream things like Fortnite. There's no chat in Fortnite. If there's a game that we do not allow the streaming of other servers at all. Hypixel is the one exception. And with that exception comes that really important rule that you cannot show chat. So we don't want to lose the ability to stream Hypixel, so let's just really be careful with that, okay? You can stream Outcraft, yes. Let's see. All right, so moving along. Okay, this has come up a little bit more recently. I want to talk a little bit about exclusion. So as you guys know, we do not exclude here. We're not we go out of our way to not exclude. It's part of the reason why we say you can't say, for instance, a Moodle can't say to Peachy, hey, I DM'd you a really funny picture. And now what they do is what they do. You guys know the rule. We say no DMing just for safety purposes. But obviously we can't control your DMs. That's up to you. One thing that is a firm rule is you cannot say things like, hey, I sent you that, because it can make other people feel excluded, right? Like, well, why didn't I get that picture? Well, I want to laugh too, things like that. We have the channels that we have right now. We have small group channels. We have the mood. We have all these different channels. But it seems the last weekish, there's been a lot of small group. And the small groups, if they're doing something very specific, like for instance, talking about the war, something very, very, very specific. I'm going to ask from now on that they go into the war channel for that, because what was happening, it kind of looked specifically last night, but it's also been happening more in the last few weeks, is kind of excluding of people filling up the 5 out of 5, and then the minute one of those leaves, then they really quickly run to the 4 out of the 4, and then the 3 out of 3. For people that are just wanting to talk with everyone, it can feel very excluding, and that's something that we're just not about here. So if you guys want, if you need to talk to someone, like let's say Magic, Peachy, and Lloyd are going to work on a project together, yeah, of course, more than welcome. You guys go into a small group. That way you can do that. But if it's becoming an everyday thing and it's always the same group of people and other people want to join, it can just make them feel bad or make them feel left out. So let's just be a little bit more careful with that. Does anyone have questions about that? Nope. Okay. All right. So with that, kind of ties blue is people like Terran, Tabby, Snow, who else are planning Lord, if they do it in a public channel, people can get spoiled. I get that, but last night there was a group that was in that group and they were actually on Hypixel. So sometimes it is that, sometimes it isn't. And that's why it's just one of those things, like, let's just really try to, and that's why I said, if it's a war thing, do it in the war channel, like do it there. So that way there's no misunderstanding of people feeling like they're being excluded. Yeah. It's just, we just want to make sure we go out of our way to do that. A lot of us deal with that kind of stuff in our life or with other friend groups. And here in ACO, it's just, we need to not do that. Let's see. I want to go over really quickly being sensitive to pronouns. We have some players here who have changed their pronouns since they've joined. Sometimes they may have changed them a couple times. They may have always had the same pronoun and players were not aware of it. And as you guys know, ACO is supportive of everything. Like, we support every pronoun, any pronoun. All you guys have to do is let us know what you prefer. In the ItMe channel, you can even put what your pronouns are. We've had a couple players more recently that have asked us to, please support them by calling them a certain pronoun or maybe a new name or something. And just a reminder, guys, that this is really important. It's not just like a yeah, I'll try to remember thing. This is really important. This is their identity. And it's really important that we try our best to do that. And when a player says that they are changing their pronouns, let's really thank them for trusting us with that, because it takes a lot to tell people that. It takes a lot to be able to say, hey, I want to change what I go by, and we want to show that support. Exactly what Arctic's saying. It could literally determine a life or death situation. It is that important. It may not feel that important to some of you guys, but to some others, it really is that important. So please be very sensitive to that. If someone does say, like, I would like to go by she, her, please go out of your way. And obviously there's going to be times you slip up and say maybe he or he. I myself, I've done that, and I'm really quick to apologize and say, I'm sorry, I apologize. And then I will say she, her. If a good piece of advice is always, if you're just not sure, they, them are the way to go. Yep. If I forget, I say they, them. They, them is better to be said to someone who wants to be she, her over he, him, they, them. Yeah. So if you have a hard time with trying to remember, just try to get used to just saying they, them, and then if possible, please go out of your way to make sure that you're using the new pronouns. Saying their new pronouns can mean the world to them. Just hearing it can literally make their day or make them feel better. So let's really go out of our way to do that. Yeah, you can also keep notes. All right. So with that being said, there's one other thing that kind of goes with some of this. We as you guys will know, we do not allow discrimination at all. We don't discriminate of anything, race, sexuality, ethnicity. We don't get into politics just because of that. We don't want to have any kind of issues like that. But sometimes we do see some what looks like discrimination on server, but it's actually in a different sense than what we're used to. I know there's been joking around like, oh, no straight people allowed in here, no gay people allowed in here. things like that. And while you guys are for the most part just, joking around and saying things like that, that's okay. But even saying things like, no straight people allowed is discriminating, even though, in real life, it's quite the opposite. The LGBTQ area is the one discriminated. We just want to make sure that everyone here feels 100% accepted and loved. And that does go both ways. It actually goes all ways. Does anyone have any questions? And not everyone can pick up on jokes, of course, too. Does anyone have questions about that? Because it is pretty important. This is a hefty one. I'm sorry. We had a lot of important stuff to go over. Bedwars max is for 4, so if you're not in small group. Yeah, I mean, we can set... Bedwars has its own voice chat, so it's Bedwars max size is 4. We can change that. Not a big deal. Does anyone have any questions about that? About just being very careful to not discriminate in ways that maybe you don't think are discriminating? And Alyssa, do you have anything you want to add in on any of this?
I think you covered most
Yeah.
everything. The only thing I wanted to mention is just to reiterate that even though it's an accident, if you say the wrong pronouns, it can really hurt. Even if it's done accidentally, but it'll generally mean a lot. Like, to me, if someone makes a mistake, it initially hurts, but if they apologize or correct themselves, and I realize it was a mistake and it wasn't done maliciously, and that does really help.
Yeah, and that's what I said. You can just say, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. And again, especially if they're new, if it's someone, if we've always have known this player by one, and then they ask us to now go by the new one. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of, a little time where we, might make a few errors. And if we do, please just, like Alyssa said, just say, I'm sorry. I truly did not mean to say he. I'm meant to say she. It's always best if you could just say they. And that's something I've been really trying to do, is get in the habit of just everybody is they, them. And then that way, and then if I know specifically someone wants she, her, or he, him, then I will go out of my way to do that. So, all right.
And just to grab back on Bed Wars, you can do up to 16, but only if you're paying for a membership. And the only people that have the membership are Mod and Rizzy, which is why we would want to use small groups, since then if they're playing, we can play with more. But if they're not playing, we can only play with 4.
Okay, well, in the past, you guys have done Bed Wars in the Bed Wars channel, so why now?
But that's why we, because my membership ran out and I don't have the money to renew it.
So why can't you? So you can't play Bed Wars in the Bed Wars channel unless you have a membership?
He's saying
No,
it because the Bed Wars channel allows any amount of people, but if you fill up your full squad, then people might feel excluded if you're in the Bed Wars channel and they can't play.
Oh, well, you just have to take turns. That's what we do in the Fortnite channel, because we have to rotate. Or I can give you guys multiple Bed Wars channels. If you don't understand why it looked like exclusion, we can talk about that privately later.
No, I understand. I'm just trying to explain why we would use small group is all
Okay.
I'm trying to say.
All right. Well, and the thing is it's been for a few multiple days in a row, so that's why maybe we need to look at making a different channel then, or something, just so that people aren't feeling excluded, because when there's 5 out of 5 all day long and you so bad just want to join your friends and talk and you can't, it can be a little frustrating. So yeah, and I get there to be avoided stress and loudness, but you have to, it's saying, but when it's consistently the same people every day and the same groups, it can again feel very like you don't want to talk to, you're not welcome to talk or be part of that group. It feels like one day for whatever, that's one thing, but it seems to be a consistent thing these days. I'm sorry, Alyssa, what were you going to say?
Didn't say anything.
Oh, or somebody had started to talk.
Well, the only way to really truly avoid that is don't have limits on any channels, just have them infinite members.
Right. Well, the reason we have it is because, like I just said, let's say Lloyd, Magic, and Peachy want to go work on something. Then they can hop into that group and work on it without everyone else talking about all the other random stuff everyone talks about. That's the purpose of it. Small groups aren't meant to be permanent, like this group is always in this group kind of thing. Instantly joining small group 2 and a person leaves small group 3. And see, that's what I was watching last night happen, and I actually watched it happen 3 separate times. And so it can definitely come out like that. So yeah, and see, Rizzy, we just don't want anyone we're trying to be proactive so that this doesn't become something like what Rizzy just said, where it can make people feel very left out. So yeah, and moving to small group one when stuff's loud is one thing. That has nothing to do with what I'm saying. Like, you're fine to do that. That's what it's there for, actually, or it's there to work with like 1 or 2 people. But when it's constantly the same group and the same channel, that's when it can be it can make other people feel like they're just not wanted, or that they're not, able to talk with their friends. So, all right, let's move on just a little bit. We only got a couple more things to say. And then kind of what goes along with some of this is just remember, guys, we're friends. We're all friends here. We don't talk about each other behind each other's back. We don't talk to other people about players. We're all friends. We're all family. If someone is talking to you about another player, please let them know, like, hey, that's, let's not do that unless we want to bring that player in. That's how back office gossip gets going. That kind of stuff is toxic to any place, whether it be in real life or workplaces or school, basically anywhere. That kind of behavior can be really toxic and bad. And so, if you guys have a concern about someone, let me know. We can, maybe the 3 of us, go into a private chat if you need help mediating something out. Or if you want to talk to that player privately, you can say, hey, Blue, Peachy can say, hey, can you put me and a Moodle into a private chat, please, so that we can talk about some things that we need to talk out. And I'll say, sure, I'll put you guys in there. You always have that option to do that. So please know that. All right. Well, you guys want to know about some fun things that are about to happen?
Sorry,
Please.
sorry about this.
Yeah, go for it. Do you have a question?
Cora just asked if you could ask something about the voice chat, text chat channel.
Yeah, I missed that. Sorry. Go ahead. Can we talk about text chat channel? Yeah. What's your question? Yeah, and Arctic Frost, by the way, DMs are not okay. We have a lot of players who do not like to get DMs. They get anxiety over DMs. Their parents don't allow them to have the DMs. They've had DMs, and that's led them other places, which has caused problems. So we say
I thought
no
it was
DMs.
just don't talk about them.
Yeah, exactly. If you have an established friendship with someone and you guys are just friends, you were friends before all this, that's fine. You can continue that, but just don't, again, like Dusty just said, don't talk about them. So I'm curious. Hope wants to know if you can talk about text voice chat. I don't know what that question is. Can that be reworded, or can someone explain to me what that's supposed to mean? And then, Buddy, you're up next, by the way. I think he's probably typing his question. Okay. Well, while we wait for yeah, and please don't, and again, you're not to talk about it. You're also not to talk about other servers. We've had that have mentioned a few times more recently, like other Discords. You can't do that. You can't say like, oh, you know what, so and so, go meet me on my Discord. You can't do that. That is really against the rules. Number 1, it goes against the exclusion because you're not inviting everyone else. And 2, you're not allowed to invite anyone else because that breaks the rule of inviting to other Discords. You guys do know the rule to that. You cannot invite to other people to your own personal Discord or servers. Let's see. Okay, well, while we wait for that, Buddy, did you want to? Oh, here we go. With the most recent issue that occurred, can we talk about this being only one part of what's going into voice chat? Also, maybe some rule clarification on this line that occurred. Can we talk about this being only one part of what's going on? I'm still very confused on this question. Does someone else understand this question?
Blue.
Yes.
The most recent incident.
Okay.
You should
Yes.
know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, that part I do know what you're talking about.
Yes. How that's only half of what went down. Because the other it occurred mostly in voice chat. Well, only one
Right.
individual was
Okay.
was not talking.
Right.
There needs to be either rule clarification of what, or at least maybe some rule clarification along the line of this, or at least I don't know how else to explain it.
So what Hope is talking about was there was an incident about a week ago where a player was responding to what was being said in voice. So the players could only read the part that the player was typing. They couldn't see what was happening or hearing what was happening in the voice chat. If they had, they would have understood and not had gotten concerned. Is that what you're talking about, Hope? Yes. Okay. So yeah, so that's another thing to kind of take under, understand that when we have voice chat, sometimes what we're reading in the voice chat channel is only half of what is being told, and sometimes things don't look like they make sense, or you might get very concerned about something that actually was just joking around, kind of like what Purple said earlier. Sometimes you don't understand the sarcasm or the joke, and so sometimes the voice chat channel, exactly. So just to be a little bit more for everyone to be a little understanding about that sometimes what you're reading is not exactly what's happening. Gosh, if that was the case, we would sound horrible half the time. So exactly. Know the full story. Okay, so Buddy, are you ready? So Buddy wants to talk for just a minute about the community farm. Are you ready, Buddy?
No, but I'll do it anyways. So, hello.
Hello.
Make a long story short, pretty much since the farm opened, there have been don't call me little bug. Since the farm has opened, there's been problems with people not replanting the crops that they pick and not breeding the animals that they kill. That's become even more of a problem recently, especially for me, because I don't have much time to play on ACO as much anymore as I used to, and it's gotten to the point where now, every time that I do come on, I have to sit at the farm for an hour, or maybe even 2 sometimes, replanting everything, waiting for that to grow, breeding all the animals back to normal good amounts instead of so there's not just 3 of them left. So if you could please, whenever you use it, make sure to replant everything, breed the animals back. You don't have to sit there for everything to grow back to like your max height or whatever. But just wait, at least wait a little bit, maybe 5 minutes max, or minimum, just to get it started, so other people can have animals to kill, get meat, leather from all that stuff. So there's not just 3 left every single time. The other thing is that there's a whole bunch of random stuff at the farm that other people have just randomly built there. There's a whole giant mansion. There's a couple additional farms that Ben never built. And if you have suggestions for how to improve the farm anyway with something else, take that up with me and Ben, and we'll talk about it, and we'll get it worked into there. But don't just do it yourself. Just because it's a community farm does not mean that everyone can build on it.
Right. It was made for the server, and it has to be maintained in a certain way. So, a lot of you guys use it, and I've had many a mod recs where players will say, "Hey, Blue, there's no cows." Okay. Why are there no cows? Or hey, Blue, there's no, trees. Like, what do you mean there's no trees? So basically, don't be that guy. Don't go in and take stuff and not take the time to replant it, take the time to rebreed animals, things like that. Obviously, if you kill off all the cows, can you rebreed them? No. So please don't do that. That's actually happened twice. Just don't be that guy, guys. Remember, this is a community thing. It's something that was built by, a few members, but mostly Ben and Buddy as a gift to the server to give you guys. This farm is great for new players, things like that, and yet, it kind of keeps getting abused. So thank you, Buddy, for talking about that.
I don't know if this is really worth bringing up, but I think Farm Team also mentioned that farm got too many animals in it as well. At least one time.
It was never brought up.
I don't recall that, but I mean, we've not had an issue with it so
was
far.
worried about it, but this was when everything was going on with the lag and stuff.
Right, yeah, which, as you guys know, it's not an ACO issue, so.
Okay.
All right, so
Mob wouldn't cause the issue anyway.
we're almost done, guys. Now we get to kind of talk about some fun stuff. Let's talk about some stuff coming up. So really quickly, I wanted to say, if you guys look in the other gaming channel, there is a channel called Dungeons and Dragons. If you are interested in playing with that, please sign up over there. It's not a community event. It's not an ACO event, but it is something that Dr. Who Dude is putting together. So if you are interested in that, that will stay in that channel. It will, and just like the other games, the games have to stay in the gaming channels. So you wouldn't be talking about it in ACO Talk. It really doesn't even belong in Event Talk because it's not an event as much as it is just like a game that you guys are wanting to play. So if you're interested in that, please make sure that you let Dr. Who Dude know over in that channel. And then that kind of leads into a little bit with the war stuff really quickly. And I've had to type about it a couple times, but war talk needs to stay in the war channels. Okay, not everyone's partaking in it. A lot of players, I think, are just really confused by it. But at the same time, things like war and killing and that kind of stuff can be a little bit triggering to some players. And so we need to make sure that all of that stuff just stays 100% in those channels. If you have questions about it, don't ask in ACO Talk or off topic. Ask in the Bell. We call it the Belvita. I don't know how to pronounce it, but announce it in there. So just keep it all in the channel, please. And the players that are in charge of that over there, they will let you know what to do. And yeah, like JW said, I'm in the war and I really don't know what's happening. So, and I think a lot of players are in that boat. But regardless, keep it all over there, okay? All right, so you guys ready for some dates? All right, so really quickly, the Friends Supporting Friends, Autism, will be the 13th and the 27th. Those are going to be the 2 times in February that we're doing these. And it's going to be, it's the times that I put in the channel, which let me look really quick. Let me go back over here. We have too many channels. Let's see. We will do the 1 p.m. EST, and then we will do the 6 p.m. EST. Although the 1 p.m. EST, 2 p.m. Yeah, the 1 p.m. PST will work. Okay, because we have something going on in AC that's on one of the dates, the 27th. But all right, so yeah, so those are going to be the times. And like I said, all of this will be in a calendar, so you guys will be able to see it. But those are going to be the next 2. And then on the let's see, I'm sorry, the 13th is the day we have something going on AC. Okay, the 28th is going to be the very next ACO Live Concert. I did not see your message, Timo. Where's your question? In game. Hold on. Just be there for events and hang out and understand. It was hold on. It's very hard to see. I didn't see it. Sorry. I'm looking at multiple screens right now. So do you mind just retyping it or saying it?
Hey, Blue.
Yes?
What were those 2 dates for the Friends Supporting Friends again?
Okay, the Friends Supporting Friends is going to be, our first 2 will be the 13th and the 27th.
And then the times again?
The times again is 2. We're doing 2 separate times. 1 p.m. EST and 6 p.m. EST. You do not need to go to both. So please just pick one. The reason we're doing this is so each person has a little more time to talk. So if you pick one, do not go to the other. If you pick the other one, don't go to the first one. It's very much a pick one, please. Buddy Blue is not allowed. You guys love my fake history facts. Okay, all right. So really quickly, let me get through a couple of these other things. ACO Live is coming back. So that is our concert series, the 28th. Keep an eye on that channel because the team will start giving you guys hints on who our next performer is. So the 28th is that. The 14th, which these are a little bit out of order. Sorry about that. The 14th is the Be Mine event. That is our Valentine's event. We do ask if you come that you do bring at least like 50 Valentines of something. Just name an item. It could be literally like a piece of paper that you just say Happy Valentine's. It could be string and you call it gummy worms. It could be anything. You can name it like heartworms, anything that you want. It doesn't have to be anything expensive like a diamond or anything like that. Just something that you find that you name. Bring at least 50. That way, when you're there, you'll be able to pass these out.
And you said the 15th?
That is the 14th.
14th, okay.
And it's called, and it's in the event channel, so you can find it there too. It's B Mine, like a B-E-E mine. March 21st will be the ACO Survival Games. So I will have a channel set up probably by the beginning of March for that, and you guys can sign up. That's going to be, again, one of those, when you sign up, you need to be there events. It's not, you saw the last time, we actually reserve places for people. So we're going to have another survival games. That's the 21st of March. And this is the big one, April 2nd, the ACO Olympics. Do you guys know what April 2nd is?
April Fool's Day.
Nope, it's not.
It's the second day. It's the day after April Fools.
Whiskers
It's
got
Autism
it.
Awareness Day.
It's
Oh, okay,
Autism
never mind.
Awareness Day. So this is the day that AF typically streams.
I'm so
And
glad people fell for the fact that I hosted April Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day. So this is the day that AF typically does his stream. Yep, I think a few of you guys joined us from that stream. And April 2nd, we're going to do the ACO Olympics. So maybe part of our Olympics will make it into that. So that's kind of cool. So anyways, that gives you guys just a few things we're going to do in the next month. Bring back Olaf. We'll have to definitely make sure Olaf is there. He was a big part of last year.
Yay, doing it on a Tuesday. Yay.
Yeah, I know. No, it should be. I thought it
Doing
was
on a Wednesday for me.
I thought it was a Friday.
No.
Oh, is it a Tuesday? Oh well.
Yes, it's
What
a
if we
Tuesday.
can't control that? I'll write you out a note.
Was
real
it?
quick, So.
Or was that just
It's a
me?
Friday for me,
I
Blue.
was-
So I have the day.
Oh no, it's not. I'm confused now. My calendar's wrong.
Timo, I'll have to talk to you about that after because we have to close the meeting really quick so we can get over to AC. Does anybody have any questions regarding the meeting about any of the stuff we went over? I know there was a lot, and typically I don't like to have to do this many kind of like talks, but a lot of stuff kind of needed to be gone over. Again, congratulations to Nin for getting Player of the Month, and congratulations to Just Whiskers for getting the Obsidian Bow. Once again, we really appreciate both of your guys' hard work. And there's one more thing. The book, we'll call them towel books, or not the towel books. The player appreciation books. There was 3 of them this time. I've got, here we go, Jakey and Aqua. I'm writing this book because both of these players, no matter what they had to deal with, show up every morning on the Discord and chat with me and other players. And that's just huge for me because I need that social interaction to get going in the morning. And up until recent, when I started spending the mornings on Discord with these two, I've been lacking that fun, light-hearted socialization that I need to wake up and enjoy my day. So that's why I think these 2 players should get recognized at Player of the Month for helping me and likely helping others get their needed share of fun social interaction every day. And that's by Driver Tech. So there you guys go. Thank you for that. We've got another one here.
Thanks, Driver Tech.
Yeah, Imrez, and these last 2 are not signed. So I mean, they are. Let me look. They're signed, but I don't know that they
Anonymous, Blue.
yeah, they might want to be anonymous. So unless you sign your name at the very bottom, I'm not going to say your name. Emrez gifted me a Christmas shulker, and that was very kind. So good job, Emrez. That was very nice. And Galaxy Wolfeye, whenever she notices someone needs help on Discord or in game, she is always there to help them. So another really nice one. So thank you guys. For those of you who don't know how to do this, there's a little area right here. You hit the button. It throws a book literally at your face. You pick it up. You write what you want in it. Make sure you do sign it. That's the only thing I ask is do you sign it? And then go ahead and put it in the chest, and then it will deliver to me. So thank you guys for that. Kind of cool to start this new tradition. Yeah. All right. Any questions before we close out? You guys did great. Sorry this was a longer one. Timo, again, I'll talk to you after Player of the Week about that, because that looks like a very detailed something.
I'm not really in too much of a hurry about this. I mean, because I understand you're busy, but whenever you have the time, I kind of would like to, if we could talk in private.
Okay. Yeah, we can most likely do that later today. That would work out. So.
Question, but all I know is a lot has changed.
Yeah, it's been busy
not
since you've been
high.
gone. You haven't been gone that long, but a lot's changed. So
Yeah.
but we have some fun stuff coming up. Oh, really quickly, guys, you might have seen for the event, you don't have to ask a date to it. I know sometimes we have things like prom and homecoming. The Be My Valentine is just kind of a fun event. If you want to couple up, you're more than welcome to do that. If you just don't feel like you have to do that. I just want to make sure everyone understands. We're just gonna have fun, super like platonic-y, we're gonna take this back. It's gonna be very similar to like an elementary school school Valentine's Day party. So it's gonna be
When
fun.
they made you go up in front of the board and awkwardly pick a name out of a hat. It was usually the person that used to bully you the most.
All right, so any other questions? We got to close out because we got to be over there in 5 minutes. So any other questions real quick?
Blue, I wanted to say thanks for pointing out the pronoun thing for.
Oh, you are very welcome. You're very welcome. So, all right, guys. Well, let's head over to AC, and yeah, I will see you guys all later. Dusty, go ahead and you want to do your outro?
Thank you all for watching. This has been another ACO Player of the Month. Remember to all rate, comment, like, and subscribe. Hope you've all had a good day, and tell your friends and family to do the same. And I guess this is Dusty Circuit signing off. Peace out.
Peace out. All right, sounds good.